Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Coe Show. My name is Mason Coe, here as always with my co-host Aaron Coe.
Hi.
Today is Wednesday, December 30th. We have had, the start of the NBA season since I believe we last did the regular Coe Show, if you will. And yeah, so we'll get into a little bit of how the NBA season has started, what the NFL playoff picture looks like, and some more. But
I can't believe we're missing the Mayo Bowl for this.
I know. What a shame.
Yeah.
The Mayo Bowl.
We are actually missing the Mayo Bowl right now. I just looked at scores.
Yeah.
See what's going on. Yeah, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. It's happening right now.
What a shame that we had to miss it.
Yeah. Bummer.
Yeah.
Bummer. We'll catch it later.
Before we get into the stuff we have to talk about, follow us on Twitter at MasonCharlesCo, at AaronCo29. Subscribe, leave a comment.
Get off your asses and just do it.
Do it. You don't even have to get off your ass. You can stay on your ass and do
Sure.
all of what I just said. So, yeah, just do it. It would be nice. But yeah, today is. By the way, we passed episode 50.
We did.
This is 51.
Halfway.
Yeah,
To the century mark.
that's pretty dope.
It is.
Yeah. So I guess I don't want to start the podcast on too much of a damper, I guess, but we just got to mention it. Rest in peace, Ty Jordan.
Yeah.
Just a tragedy. Seeing the year 2001, that seeing 2001 to 2020, seeing that he was born in 2001, it just it gave me a panic attack almost. It's just crazy.
Younger than you.
It's crazy. Pac-12 freshman of the year, and an incredible player. Teammates say he was an incredible teammate too. So
yeah, it sounds like he really was a great guy. Not too often does somebody die and everybody says that guy was a real dick.
yeah,
But I really believe the stuff that I heard, that the team he seemed like a humble but yet gregarious type person that the teammates, even some of the older teammates, rallied around. He's a true freshman this year. Played well. He kind of took over the starting job, even though they had some experienced guys coming back. But yeah, it's just, it's just awful.
Tragedy.
It's just terrible. Yeah.
Tragedy. Yeah. Let's just move right off of that because we don't come to this podcast to get sad.
No.
In fact, let's just turn it to maybe some of the best news that we've gotten in a while.
Are we going to talk about the NBA?
Yeah.
Are the Sonics coming back?
Maybe.
What?
Maybe the Sonics are coming back. Seattle is at the top of the list when NBA considers expansion, and he says that it will 100% happen. It's not on the front burner, he said. I don't know which burner it's on, but yeah, so they should turn on the afterburners and get it going.
Yeah, what the fuck you waiting for?
Yeah, so, I feel like this was obvious that Seattle was at the top of the list, but this isn't really what made it good news. What made it good news was that there was a reason why they needed to expand. So with, before there was no, other than, obviously getting more money from teams joining the league is always good, but there was no driving reason to spread the talent out and to set it all up. But now with all the ticket sale losses from COVID, I by the way, I tweeted this months ago.
You did. You right at the beginning.
Happen.
Yeah.
I tweeted months ago that this would happen. So I'm happy that my take was right, but I'm even more happy that potentially this could happen soon.
Yeah, it's obviously great news because the reason he's been pissing me off, and I've been ranting about him on this podcast over and over again, even though I think overall he's been he's probably the best commissioner in sports,
at least current,
major sports right now.
Yeah.
However, it's really pissed me off when he's just shoved the Sonics off. We're not expanding. We're not expanding. This is the first time I've heard a little bit of the door opening a bit, so it's really encouraging. But yeah, you had the Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban, I guess on a podcast a week ago or so, saying, it's going to be Seattle and Vegas one of these days, and you're looking at a $3 billion price tag.
$3 billion.
Which
if I had $4 billion, if I had $3.1 billion, I would pay $3 billion.
Yeah, because I could live on $0.1 billion.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Plus, it's proven to be a pretty good investment over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Just ask Howard Schultz what happens when you get rid of a team. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I mean, anyway, I'll move off of him. Just keep this positive, that fucker. So this is, it's good to hear it being talked about finally. So that $3 billion, what happens? Because I've heard some people say, who's paying the $3 billion? Where does it go? All that stuff.
So from what I've heard, it's whoever wants to own the team is gonna shell out that $3 billion. What I've heard is that each owner gets an equal piece of the pie, and since they come in twos, it'll be $6 billion divided by 30. I mean, I don't know how much ticket sales. I don't know what percent of revenue ticket sales play into, but I got to imagine you're making up a decent chunk of that when you're. I mean, what's $6 billion divided by 30? I don't know.
It's a lot.
Half a.
500 million.
500 mil, I think.
Right?
Yeah, I think we'll just call it 500 mil.
So it's not a math show.
No, not a math show. This is a sports show, but we'll just say 500 mil just cause that's a huge amount of money. And
it is.
And ticket sales, obviously, you're still losing. I don't know how much that makes up for, but I mean, some of these owners are worth like $1 billion. So if you're getting like that much, I mean, that's great. So
maybe it's 50 million.
It's probably 50 million now that I think about it, because 500 million is a fucking crazy amount of money. It's definitely 50 million.
It's definitely
50 million is a good check for anyone, though, and
Yeah.
especially like I said, I've said it a ton of times already. Ticket sales being lost, you need a way. I mean, you don't. The thing is, what's funny about this is they don't need to make it up. They really don't. All these owners are rich. The NBA, the 1 year that the sports teams are considered the safest investment, or one of them. The 1 year that your safe investment doesn't work out, they're scrambling to find more ways to make money. Mm-hmm. It's just what billionaires do. But if it comes out to benefit us, then I'm all for it.
It's funny, there are people that are borderline losing their houses right now that are panicking less than billionaires. Mm-hmm. It kind of cracks me up.
Yeah.
It's the thing is, in addition to that, they're also going to get more TV money. Man, if you watch, I was reading this, the Seahawks game last week had a 75% share in the Seattle market.
Oh, wow.
If you have a good basketball team, that'll happen too.
Yeah.
Despite all you fucks that say I hate the NBA, which I do too, I'll never watch it again. You're gonna watch it again, you losers. Just shut up.
Here's the thing, man. When the Sonics come back, it's over. We're done with the beef, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Like, we're done. When the Sonics are back, rest in peace, David Stern. All the pieces of the puzzle that got Seattle out of here are gone. So when Seattle gets a team, I think it's over. We're happy.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the back of my mind, and
of course, I mean, you'll never forget.
But all the pieces of the puzzle that screwed us over, all the politicians, and that was the biggest issue, by the way, was the Seattle politicians, the state politicians at the time. They're the ones that really lost the team. But also, there's a lot of factors to it. But it's a different commissioner, different politicians, a lot of the owners are actually even different.
Yeah.
So no, I will. It'll be in the back of my mind forever. But I will. But no, I'm not gonna not watch the team.
Here's the thing:
why am I gonna punish myself?
If Adam Silver didn't take the Sonics from you. If Adam Silver is the one that gives you the Sonics back, not only should you not hate him, he should be our hero.
He will to a point. I'll still always say why not earlier?
Yeah.
What took you so goddamn long?
Fair enough.
I'll stop disparaging his name all the time.
Yeah.
I'll never stop talking about Howard Schultz though. That'll never go away.
No, I mean Howard Schultz, what he did is done, and unfortunately, not unfortunately, he had to sell everything to run for president, and they got absolutely fucking stomped in every single poll, every single debate, every single thing every single step along the way. Howard Schultz absolutely fucked that one up, which is great to see. Honestly, great to see. He thought people in Washington were gonna vote for him. Ugh. You think you have your home state when that happens?
No.
No, dude, this isn't your state. Fuck out of here.
There would have been protests. There would have been
Genuinely,
people in green and gold protesting him. That would have actually been kind of fun if he would have taken that a little bit further. So I sure hope that they put this on the front burner soon.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you waiting for? Let's go. We've got an arena. They're making the new arena. What is it called again? Climate Pledge Arena.
Climate Pledge, yeah.
They're making the locker rooms already to NBA specs. You've had one of the investors and builders of that arena, Todd Lywicki, say that there is an ownership group for the Sonics.
Good.
We don't necessarily know who that is, but I suspect Bezos might be involved in that.
Wouldn't be surprised.
And he's got the billions that you need for that.
I mean, here's the thing, I will happily take Jeff Bezos in if he brings us the Sonics.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'll order more shit on Amazon.
Yeah.
Probably isn't possible.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have any last thoughts about the Sonics?
No, bring the fuckers back.
Just bring them back. Bring them back. We miss them. And we deserve to have a team. If you ask any reporter, any media pundit that has to do with the NBA, they say we got fucked over. They say we deserve a team. They say we should have had one years ago. So, yeah.
This could be, we talk about destination cities. This could be one.
Yeah.
If the pieces fell in place. This is going to be a place where NBA players want to be.
I mean, Kevin Durant always talks about how he loves Seattle.
Yeah.
And he played there for 1 year.
And if
you realize that he played there for 1 year.
Know. Yeah. If you listen to ex-players, that played on other teams, they'll tell you that Seattle was one of their favorite stops.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. Let's do it.
All right. Well, let's talk about the current NBA. Orlando Magic are in first in the Eastern Conference, and the Hawks are second, 4-0 and 3-0.
Wow.
How crazy is that? Bucks are 2-2. So, I mean, I'm not obviously the wins early on in the season here. I'm not going to take too much into that. I'm just going to look through the teams and just kind of talk about.
You might have some minutes management going on. I don't know. I haven't really looked at the box scores.
That's the thing. You kind of do, especially with teams that made a deep playoff run. The Magic, Markel's been playing really well for them, which is dope, which is really dope. He dropped like 22, 8 and 7 with a couple steals and like a game-winning shot in a game. So, yeah. And then the Hawks, Trae Young. People put this, we've talked about this before. When you get a label put on you as a player of any sport, but really especially basketball, I feel like, once you get that label, it's really hard to get it off, good or bad.
Yep.
People just decided to say Trae Young was like Harden, where he just puts up points and loses. He's 3-0 now, and he had a terrible fucking team around him. And when you look at Trae Young's box score, a lot of the time it's not 22 for 40. A lot of the time it's more, like 19 for 40. It's more like 12 for 18. It's like, but he still puts up 30 points, and he gets to the line like Harden does, which isn't necessarily super fun to watch and gets annoying, but it's a skill. Like, we just have to accept it's a skill in the NBA to get to the line.
Yeah.
And he does that well, and now they're 3-0. So,
wow.
I actually want to see how Bogdanovich is doing, because I haven't really watched a ton of the games, especially from teams that I'm just not as interested in. I mean, Bogdanovich, he's only averaging 13, but anyway, their young pieces look good. John Collins is a good player. Kevin Huerter, a great shooter. They look good. Scrolling down now, let's see. We have Brooklyn at 2-2, but Kyrie and KD sat out one of those games. They look incredible. I mean, Kyrie and KD look amazing together. I watched, shout out to Jimmy High Roller on YouTube. He makes very interesting videos about basketball that he uses stats, but he makes his own stats, and he shows numbers and charts and stuff that I've never seen anywhere else.
Okay.
And he's really good at what he does, but he basically did a list of players with major Achilles tears, and it was 25% never play in the league again, 25% do this, and then it was 6% that make a full recovery, played to where they were before. Yeah. And that 6% was one person. It was Dominique Wilkins. KD so far has not missed a beat. KD has not missed a beat whatsoever.
And some of that stat would be simply, and this could apply to KD. It could have, I guess. When 24-year-olds don't tear their Achilles very often.
Yeah.
It's usually a 32-year-old.
Yeah.
So they're on the downside anyway. But yeah, it would be great to see him, pick up where he left off. I was a little skeptical of that happening just because he's a not a young kid anymore, and he's got a lot of miles on him.
Yeah. The number that really is encouraging for me with him, so he's averaging 26.7, 4, and 3, which is, that's not his best numbers, but it's very good, obviously.
Yeah.
The number that really encourages me for him is 1.7 steals. So he's always, people talk about him as one of the best scorers of all time. You're selling him short. He's a great defender.
Yeah.
And the fact that I feel like 1.7 steals, that's a kind of a hustle stat. And the fact that he feels good enough to be bouncing around everywhere and is still quick enough to jump passes or swipe at a ball or something, I just think it's a really good sign. Kyrie's averaging 29 right now, so I mean he's on fire. 29, 4, and 6. So.
I just hope he doesn't fall off the end of the earth,
Yeah. All right. Enough about the Nets. I'll talk about not very many teams because I'm talking a lot, but Knicks are 2-2. Who cares? No one else really interesting. LaMelo's kind of off to a semi-rough start. It's 3 games, so I'm not going to talk much about that. Toronto's 0-3, which is interesting. So I haven't watched a Toronto game yet, but what I've heard is that Siakam is being exposed as not a good ball handler.
Yeah.
He only has a right hand. He only has that spin move, which I mean, if you watched him last year, you could tell that too. But he's being exposed, and apparently, so Fred VanVleet and Kyle Lowry work together really well because Fred VanVleet's he comes off screens, off-ball type of guy. Apparently, they're trying to essentially groom Fred VanVleet to step into the Kyle Lowry role when, inevitably in a couple years here, Kyle Lowry will be old. He won't be a starter. And apparently that's not working super well.
How about you just use a player in the way that they're best at?
Exactly.
And not worry about 2 years from now.
Don't look for the next version of a certain player. Look for the current version of a good player.
Yeah.
And then Detroit's ass and Washington's 0-4. Russ look very sad on the sideline. It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a real long season. Start off 0-4. I think he's averaging a triple-double. Bradley Beal's putting up points too. Yeah. So it's just, they're going to be ass. And they lost to the Bulls, who are 1-3, who are probably the worst team in basketball.
Wow.
All right. Western Conference, got the Clippers 3-1, Phoenix 3-1. They look good. And Sacramento, I think Sacramento's been the biggest surprise for me so far. De'Aaron Fox looks good. They look fast again. I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast, but Luke Walton, fucking idiot. He was the reason he was the reason LeBron didn't make the playoffs that one year. No, but he coached the Lakers. They were dog shit. He leaves, goes to Sacramento. I don't know why Sacramento hired him. Takes maybe the fastest player in the NBA in De'Aaron Fox and one of the fastest offenses in the league and just plays slow. Just, everyone's got to touch the ball before we can score type of shit.
Right.
So they're 3-1, playing fast, looking good. Denver's 1-3 too. Those losses are to Sacramento themselves. Other than that, though, I mean, Golden State looks like dog shit. Houston's 0-2. They had a game canceled because of COVID stuff. Ja Morant. We should talk. Ja Morant looks fucking incredible. However, rolled his ankle really bad. Was taken off in a wheelchair. Looked very scary, especially for a young player. And turns out he's only out 3 to 5 weeks, which is still really bad, but considering what it looked like, considering the optics, we'll take it. Right. And Dallas without Porzingis is 1-2. Other than that, I don't really have a ton for the current NBA.
What's up with the Clippers star?
Kawhi?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, he broke his face or something.
Yeah. I actually haven't heard an update about that. So Kawhi got... Here, let me see if I can find the picture. Kawhi got lit up. I think it was by his own teammate. I was not watching at the time. But he was bleeding all over the court, and I haven't heard an update, so I'm assuming that it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Kawhi.
Doesn't look good.
Doesn't look great. Whoops. But yeah.
All I know, so when you played baseball, there was a kid on your team for a little bit, and he broke his face, and we never saw him again.
Yeah.
We called him Broken
We called him Broken Face because I don't think I ever learned the kid's
really
name.
know what his name. I hope he's doing well out there.
Shout out Broken
but I
Face.
never saw him again.
Yeah, never saw him.
So I hope this isn't what happens to Kawhi.
Yeah, seriously. So yeah, I and Paul George. I should say Paul George is looking really good too. He, it says 22 points a game, which isn't fantastic. He went off in the first game.
I think he had one bad game.
He had one really bad game, which will happen with Paul George. But yeah. So overall, I mean, I guess the general feelings so far are not a ton of super huge surprises. Other than I would say the Magic are a really big surprise.
Right.
But everything's kind of going as planned, I suppose. But it's all good. It's all entertaining. Have been quite a few blowouts this year, which haven't been fun to watch, but it'll happen. It's whatever. And yeah, so with the first most teams with 4 games in the books, I think we should give our MVP prediction.
Okay.
Now, okay, so the odds-on favorite by quite a wide margin too is Luka, and I think that's the safe pick, just because he's, he hasn't won it yet, young player, face of the league, putting up hella points. I think that kind of depends on how well the Mavericks do.
Yes.
And then you got Giannis, 2-time reigning MVP. And, the thing with him, though, is they don't like to give MVP to the same guy, especially 3 years in a row. It won't happen. And then for me, my third big contender for it is LeBron. Now, LeBron's an interesting one, because, like I said, they don't like to give the MVP to the same guy over and over, which has obviously been seen with guys like LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, all of them. So the thing is, though, could this be essentially a lifetime achievement award for the back leg of his career? You know what I mean? So
possibly. People
get the lifetime achievement award if they haven't won an MVP. It's Steve Nash. I mean, if they haven't won an MVP and they're a hella good player, they'll just toss him an MVP because they probably should have won one at some point.
Right.
LeBron has had essentially 3 Hall of Fame careers at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's won an MVP in that back part of it. So
it has been a while.
My prediction is that LeBron James is going to win the MVP because the NBA wants to, they want to lift up their superstars in a year that's been so weird. I think people want some normalcy. And I think LeBron winning MVP is normal for people. So I think people just
It could be. It could
best
be.
player in the world. Just give it to him.
I think you're right about Giannis, because a couple things. One, he's won the last 2, so a lot of people that vote for the MVP are going to cross him off. But they're really going to cross him off because of what's happened in the postseason, especially last year.
Yeah.
So you're like, man, I voted for this guy the last 2 years, and he's really burned me.
Yeah.
He's made my vote look really bad. I'm not voting for that fucker again. So forget about him. He would have to put up, 20% more numbers than anybody else to get it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get there. The thing about LeBron is he does fall into that category of, he's won a couple of them. Let's go somewhere else. I'll come back to that in a second. But then I look at the list. If you look at the guys who you think are candidates, there isn't really anybody. There isn't there's not the Barkley in the early 90s that probably shouldn't have won it, but people are like, oh, he's had a hell of a career. The Olajuwon. There's not a long time dominant player that you feel you owe one to. Is there, that I know of?
No.
There's not a guy that fits the bill of dominant player for a decade that hasn't won one yet.
That's
still that caliber.
Yeah, this would be similar to the LeBron one, where KD hasn't won one in so long. If he comes back and has a fantastic season, I could see that being the storyline they go with too. But Kyrie, he's putting up 29 right now. Yeah. So if Kyrie, if it turns out Kyrie is the leading scorer on a Nets team that is the 1 seed,
yeah,
I could see that.
One of those two players could be very strong candidates to
Yeah.
win it. Kyrie hasn't won one, has he?
No.
Yeah. So that's a possibility. People think he's a Fruit Loop though, so it's that he has to overcome that a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it shouldn't be part of it, but it is. Back to LeBron. The issue with the one issue I have there is, how much is he going to play? Are they going to take it easy on his minutes, and what will his numbers look like? I don't know the answer to that question, but my guess is they're probably going to try to keep his minutes down a little bit this year.
True, yeah.
But I thought that last year too, and it didn't really happen. So, I see your logic there. I could definitely see that happening. To me, I'm just going to go with the guy that's already at the front of the conversation, which is Luka.
Yep.
I think he's going to put up ridiculous numbers. He made a splash in the playoffs last year, playing hurt and game-winning shot. So, he's probably more on the radar than he was before. He's a triple-double threat every time he goes out there.
Yep.
Plays with some passion. You see some fire from him. People like that.
Yeah.
So he's probably, you said what, he's the front runner? Like, is he already the front runner?
He's odds. I mean, I think he's like plus 250 and the next closest is plus 500 or something.
Yeah. So not a big take from me, but I thought this at the end of last season.
Yeah. I think I remember you saying that. Yeah. Actually.
Like he looks like the MVP for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
They got to win. They got to get up to the 2 or 3 seed. I mean, if they're fighting for a playoff spot, then he's not going to get there.
No.
So some of it's going to come down to how does Porzingis come back and play? He's not back yet, right?
No, he's not.
How does that team do overall?
I mean, hey, if Trae Young goes in there and gets a 3 seed,
yeah. I mean, there could be somebody that emerges out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and it's usually the team results that dictate that sort of thing.
Because he averaged 30 last year. They just lost every game.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. So I guess with that, let's finally move on from the NBA.
Thank God.
So we got Pro Bowl selections. I usually don't care a ton about it, and I really especially don't this year.
Yeah.
I just don't care. Cool, good for you. There were some snubs. Oh no. Probably the Seahawks kicker should have made it, but
probably the punter too.
Probably the punter.
I will say this with the kicker. He's made every field goal that he's taken, and one of them was from 61 yards.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't care that much. I'm not going to get too fired up.
Nah, I don't fucking care.
I think when I was a kid, the Pro Bowl was kind of a big deal. Mm-hmm. Especially, Seattle wasn't as big of a place in the 80s.
Yeah. It
wasn't as well known. So, when you had a John L. Williams make it, or the first Kurt Warner, the running back, you had Kenny Easley, you had guys like that making the Pro Bowl. You were excited to turn on the Pro Bowl and watch your guys represent your city
with some good players. Finally, some other good players around them.
Yeah, exactly. Steve Largent. I mean, they've had some Cortez Kennedy. Obviously, they've had some good players even when they weren't very good. Mm-hmm. So that was exciting, but now nobody cares about the Pro Bowl. It always was a little bit of a joke, but the last 10 years, it is unwatchable as a football game because they just don't want to even block each other or hit each other. Yeah. It's just awful.
And they're not even playing it this year, and I didn't know that they weren't playing it this year. I didn't realize they weren't playing the game this year.
I mean, I haven't watched it for years.
Yeah. I'm actually bummed that the All-Star game, the NBA All-Star game is not going to happen. I'm really bummed about that.
Yeah.
All-Star weekend's dope. And the new All-Star game, it seemed like the format they had was really sick.
Yeah.
So but the Pro Bowl, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, the NBA, they don't play defense anyway, so it doesn't really change that much. Anyway, it's always I always look and see, okay, how many Seahawks and there was 7?
Yeah.
Something like that. So that's cool.
That's cool.
But whatever.
I'll just read off Because I don't even know who the people were. Obviously, Russ.
Russ, Bobby, Jamal.
Oh, DK got snubbed.
I thought he made it. No?
No, DK got snubbed.
Wow.
Chris Godwin? Okay. 2 Tampa Bay receivers. That's interesting.
Our fullback made it.
Yeah, definitely not because he was the first one on the list by last name. Definitely.
I think that was, more of a special... Actually, he made it for special teams, not for fullback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bobby, we got...
Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
He's only played like 3 games this year, but he's still in there.
Oh, maybe. Okay, wait. Are these just starters? I don't know what's going on.
Whatever. Yeah, moving on.
I don't care. Yeah. We've talked way too long about that.
No.
So, this is a pretty fun Photoshop. The Jets do the most Jets thing possible and lose out on the number 1 draft pick by winning too many games. Yeah, they beat the Browns with no receivers and the Rams the week before that. The Jags won week 1, by the way. Pretty interesting. They beat the Colts in week 1. And they go on to lose, most likely will end up being 15 straight. And Trevor Lawrence looking good in the black and teal, starting off the... I'm going to guess 10-year career of Gardner Minshew as a backup. I think he's going to be a long-time backup.
Yeah.
But
I thought he was going to be an MVP candidate. What happened?
Yeah. No, I mean, he would be... I would love to have him as a backup on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But, yeah, I guess good for the Jags, It's
probably good for Trevor Lawrence, to be honest with you.
I think
they
that much better? I don't know.
I think the Jags have more potential to be a decent organization.
Okay.
They've made some mistakes. Bringing in Tom Coughlin was a mistake.
Yeah, but he's gone now, so.
But I think they were trying to do something good when they did that.
Yeah.
Bringing in a guy that has a proven track record as a winner.
Mm-hmm. You can build a culture and stuff.
I didn't think it was a great move, but I can see the logic in it.
Yeah.
The Jets are a train wreck. I don't see any evidence that they're ever not going to be a train wreck. The Jags have a chance. Plus, he's a Southern boy, so...
True. Yeah, staying relatively close to home. And, if you're the Jets, do you take Penei Sewell or do you take Justin Fields? Or do you trade it? I mean, what? Because here's the thing, you got Mekhi Becton, who is incredible. He's going to be incredible for his whole career. He'll probably have 10 years, probably end up leaving the Jets about 4 years in and finish as a Hall of Famer for, I don't know, the Patriots or something. But yeah, Mekhi Becton looks incredible. Do you try to build everything around the quarterback position while hopefully Sam Darnold works out, but also on the back of your mind, you're just building everything up. Just when the time's right, you bounce Sam Darnold and grab someone else. What do you do?
Oh boy! So you already have a one of the best left tackles in the game
as a rookie too. I mean, he's
yeah. Oh boy, that's a tough one. I think first of all, if you don't have a quarterback in this league, you're not winning shit.
That's the thing.
So, do you think Sam Darnold is going to pan out?
No.
So here's what I.
But I know Penei Sewell will.
Yeah.
I don't trust any Ohio State quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Who's the last Ohio State quarterback?
I don't like Justin Fields as an NFL quarterback. So
who's the last Ohio State quarterback to pan out? JT Barrett?
No.
Like,
I'm trying to go back through.
Haskins, you got Fields.
History.
I can't. I mean, they always just have a dude that looks like he's gonna throw the ball out of the stadium and he doesn't work out. It's just what happens. Yeah,
and they run an offense. Like Chip Kelly quarterbacks have never done anything.
No.
In the NFL. So yeah, I think quarterbacks in those type of systems can struggle to make that transition. Here's where I'm struggling because I don't like if I love Justin Fields, I would say absolutely, but if I love Justin Fields, I would say there's somebody out there that's willing to trade a 3rd round pick for the Jets' current
Darnold. Yeah.
There's someone out there that will have the ego to believe that they can fix Darnold because he was a talent coming out.
Yeah.
I liked him coming out. So, but I don't like Justin Fields, so I don't know who the hell I would even draft as a quarterback. I will say
There's a couple others in there. I forget their names.
I would draft a quarterback every year until I found one. Now, maybe not in the first round. I might draft guys in the third round and see if you can get somebody to pop.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the NFL. I mean, there are a lot of quarterbacks who are, the Russell Wilson in the third round, Joe Montana third round, Brady sixth round. Mm-hmm. There's a very long list of quarterbacks that have done extremely well that weren't at the top of the draft. So if I were the Jets, I'd keep drafting guys. But yeah, do you play? So you draft Sewell and put him at right tackle? Is that what you're doing? Do you just go,
See, that's the thing. I don't know. And then also, what if you're the Jags? What do you accept for the number 1 pick? Other than, we'll just say, I mean, obviously they would accept a star quarterback, like a current star quarterback.
There's just like, it's not possible.
Okay, I know it's not, but what would you like? Would you take? How about this? Would you take Mekhi Becton in the number 2 overall pick?
No.
Would you
No
take?
chance.
Would you take? I guess it would for me. It would have to be a bona fide star quarterback. Like it would take Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
It would take Deshaun Watson. It would take one of these guys.
Deshaun Watson and your next 3 first-round picks.
Which, by the way, they don't have any of them because the Dolphins are getting a top 5 pick because for Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
Laramie Tunsil for a first-round pick. That really worked out for Houston, though. I mean, that O-line was really. We know that Deshaun Watson, he had a lot of time back there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I think that's what it would take, though. A star quarterback, a current star.
Yeah, and I'm not even. Who knows? I've said this many times. I will give me any name and I'll predict that they're a bust because I'm going to be right 2 out of every 3 times.
Yeah.
So I'll predict that Trevor Lawrence is going to be a bust because that's what I do. However, he's your best shot.
Is he the most quote-unquote sure thing since Peyton Manning?
I think since Andrew Luck.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Andrew Luck. Because, I mean, people have been talking about Trevor Lawrence since he was in high school.
Yeah.
So, I forgot Andrew Luck was that.
And Andrew Luck wasn't, I don't know that he was the type of level of recruit. He was a big recruit. I can't remember. I don't follow recruiting super closely. But as far as a guy coming out of college that you... Like, if you have the number 1 pick, you're not even answering the fucking phone. No. Like, there's nothing. You have nothing.
You're unplugging.
I don't want
you're unplugging the landline.
Yeah, I don't want send me your whole team. I don't want it. Not worth it.
Yeah.
So that's the type of prospect that this guy is for the NFL. And, he may very well pan out. I'll keep my bust rule in place just because that's my thing. But I would say, he's as good a chance as any quarterback coming out in the last 10 years to and one of the best. He's probably one of the best prospects to ever come out. You have Elway, you have Manning, you have Andrew Luck. Those are the guys that coming out you're like, holy shit. Yeah,
I can't think of any others.
Zion,
I mean, for other sports, it'd be Zion, LeBron, not even MJ, Kareem. Honestly, Kareem was before that.
Yeah,
it was Kareem and then LeBron.
Yeah, those are pretty much the guys.
Yeah.
The type of guy you're talking about here. So there's no trade. There's no trade that's possible.
Yeah.
So with the Jets, if I were them, I would probably, find somebody that really wants Fields, and just fucking take everything they've got.
Yeah.
A couple players, a couple of first round picks. Like, just see if there's somebody out there that will give you everything.
And then do you take
waste all your draft
picks?
Yes. Because
and then do you take a swing in the second or third round, or I guess whatever picks you get back? Is that like, because you said you draft a quarterback every year, especially when you got Sam Darnold. So
yeah, I would have to look. I would really want to look and see gosh, and this year is such. I mean, some of these quarterbacks barely played, but
Seriously.
I would look and see, is there someone that I liked, and try to target them.
Yeah.
Even the second round's fine. Just I probably wouldn't do a first rounder, unless it's toward the end. But yeah, if I were them, that's what I would do. See if a new coach and some more talent can get Darnold going. Skeptical at this point. I hope they didn't ruin the guy.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just a bust. It happens.
Here's just a stupid hypothetical. Let's say 4 years ago, the Jags traded the Chiefs their first round pick for this year. Like, they obviously didn't know how bad they'd be because at the time they were good in 2016. They were AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Wow. I know.
Seems like a long time ago.
I know. So if you own the Jags pick this year and you're the Chiefs, you take Trevor Lawrence, and then what do you do with him?
Yeah, that would be tough.
You trade. I mean,
you'd have to trade.
I think you got to trade it.
Yeah, and then you just
and then trade down basically one pick to the Jets and take Panay. I think that's what you do.
Yeah,
probably, but that'd be an interesting. I mean, obviously you're not choosing Lawrence over Mahomes at this point, obviously, but
no, of course not.
But I mean, do you just you don't want? I mean, especially you don't want to trade him. You don't want to trade him to the Jets. They're in the AFC.
Yeah, in this case, you would just get a ransom. I want your first round pick for the rest of football's existence.
Yeah.
No, you would just get a great return, and then go get a what would seem to be the most surefire NFL pick would be the most sure. The guy I won't predict is a bust is Sewell. He's to me. There's a few when some of these stud offensive linemen come out, you just know they're going to be great for a long
Mekhi
time.
Becton. They knew it when he was coming out of college. When they drafted him, they knew it was going to be the thing. By the first game, they knew it was a thing. By the end of the season, they knew it was a thing. They still know it's a thing. So for some reason, the offensive linemen, I feel like when you know, you know.
Yeah. So I think that's what I would do in that hypothetical is just get every pick I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you win, in the NFL, you win with quarterbacks, number one.
Mm-hmm.
You're useless without one for the most part. And you win with making good draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
You don't win with free agents. It's basically restocking. Because of the salary cap, it's a hard cap. All the injuries that happen in the NFL. I think it's the hardest GM job out there.
Probably.
Just because you need, in the NBA, you just, if you can find two good players, you're going to compete. But
you can make things happen, yeah.
In the NFL, finding a quarterback is hard, and you need a whole roster. You can't re-sign your own guys if you're good most of the time.
No.
Because you just can't. You don't have the cap room.
Seahawks.
You have to pick and choose.
Yeah, that's what happened to the Seahawks.
And then when you do sign them, they get injured quite a bit. So those draft picks are huge. That's why you see, and it doesn't always work, but that's why you see John Schneider trading down. He wants as many bites at the apple as he can get because, like I've said, I predict every player is going to be a bust, but, 1 out of 3 are going to pan out.
Uh-huh.
So I'd rather have 15 draft picks and get 5 players out of it that can help me for several years. So anyway.
Yeah. All right. Moving forward, we have old.
Oh my.
Okay. Wait. Okay. Well, we'll talk about this too.
Okay.
I was gonna talk about Dewey Haskins getting cut, but this, it's the whole shit show of a franchise.
No.
So this means he did it, right? When you settle out of court, it kind of means you did it.
It at the very least means you look real bad.
Okay, yeah,
you're not gonna win.
So, for those who aren't watching, the Washington football team reportedly paid a former employee $1.6 million as part of a settlement in 2009 after she described sexual misconduct by Dan Snyder. There was a big report that came out earlier this year, kind of exposing some of the culture issues within, and Dan Snyder basically just deny that any of it was his fault. He just said it was everyone else's fault, even though he's the owner. He owns the team. It is his. So he is responsible for anything bad that happens. And apparently he was physically responsible as well for the bad things that were happening. And then he had to lose 1.6 of his who fucking knows how many millions. So
and that's the one thing in that report that came out a few months ago was, well, okay, he didn't do it. At least he's not one of the people that did it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the narrative I kept hearing, but obviously that doesn't appear to be the case.
Yeah.
So he's just this guy. It's just one thing after another.
I mean, he's perennial. I think we've listed him. There's it's Howard Schultz. It's the perennial clowns of the week. It's Howard Schultz. It's Dan Snyder. It's
Larry Scott.
Larry Scott was the other one. Roger Goodell. I mean, those are really the big four so far.
Yeah.
And he's one of them. But yeah, speaking of the football team, they cut Dwayne Haskins after putting his team and his coach, who is recovering from cancer, at risk by going to a strip club. And I love people are freaking out. And he had no mask. Dude was at a strip club during COVID. He just lost, and he went to a strip club. And his coach, by the way, is just getting done with chemo, I think.
So he just finished his treatments. And
fucker, yeah.
You're very, very wide open when you get done with chemo, because you've wiped out all the a lot of the cells that are supposed to protect you.
And he parted ways with his agent. They parted ways, so he got dropped.
You know what? Agents don't like to let people go.
Yeah.
So the agent can't stand him either. Yeah. Because agents want
it's money.
They want their 2%.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Usually. So man, what a train wreck. I think I said to you when he got cut, I'm like, wow, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then you did a little research and you found out, no, it doesn't. You're right. It actually doesn't happen for real. It doesn't. You don't. Quarterbacks make it through their first. Mitch Trubisky makes it through his first contract. First round quarterbacks generally make it through their first contract. It's very rare, and it's always beyond performance.
Yeah, I mean, did Leaf make it through his first?
I think so, yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean, so there. That's all you need to know. Ryan Leaf made it through his first contract.
Yeah. And those were, I should mention, first-round quarterback contracts back then were huge. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe not in dollar amount comparison, but they didn't used to cap it.
Oh, okay.
So it was a flat-out negotiation.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah.
Oh, damn, okay. By the way, Ryan Leaf said Dwayne Haskins has to get his shit together. On air, by the way. I just wanted to throw that out there. Ryan Leaf's telling me he has to get his shit together. That's when you got to get your shit together.
The thing is, so this guy, he two coaching staffs have said, we don't like you. Mm-hmm. It's not, so you can't just put it on one coaching staff.
No.
He finally gets a chance to play because, first of all, he gets beat out by a guy who is barely in the league. Is it Kyle Allen?
Yeah, Kyle Allen.
And you get beat out by a guy who has one leg and almost died.
Yeah,
right?
Legitimately almost died.
And you finally, because there's no one else left, and you can't sign people off the street now because they have to go through COVID protocols, he finally gets a chance. And in the later stages of the Seahawks game, you're like, hey, I see some NFL ability here.
Yeah.
He's hitting open guys. He's, he doesn't look too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then he immediately goes and fucks it all up.
Yeah, and he even the one win he gets, he goes and is taking pictures with the crowd before the game's over.
So maybe if he hadn't done that, there were some NFL GMs watching that Seahawks game going, okay, maybe there's something salvageable here. But then when you go out and do that and embarrass your organization, and owners care about shit like that.
Yeah.
For the most of them, they don't want to be their team to be an embarrassment.
At the end of the day, if it affects the bottom line, they're gonna care, and that does.
So who's gonna sign him now? He's gonna have to go on a whole tour showing that he's a better person. And then, even if he's a better person, is he a good quarterback?
Yeah.
There are two issues here, and I'm not sure he's going to check either box.
What's crazy is that Schefter reported that there's multiple teams interested.
Well, sure. I mean, everybody's going to call. You're going to make the call.
Yeah.
John Snyder made the call.
Yeah.
Just see what's going on. You have to kick every tire.
It's crazy, though. Yeah. It's like, who thinks that he's the answer to anything?
Yeah.
At all. Yeah. All right. I think probably our last little bit of NFL NFL news, or I guess NFL talk, is let's just kind of discuss the playoff picture. So right now, the teams that are locked in are Green Bay, New Orleans, Seattle, and Tampa for the NFC. And in the AFC, it's a lot more wide open. They let's see, where did they go? Where's the AFC? They only have one spot open, they have. Excuse me, I was way wrong about that. They have quite a few spots open, but no. They only have one. There's only one team in the hunt in the AFC. There's a lot of things that can move around as far as seeding goes.
Right.
But you got Kansas City, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Miami, Baltimore, Cleveland, and then Indianapolis is the only team that could still get in. So it'd be really funny if the Browns didn't make the playoffs this year. I'm rooting for them, but yeah. And then in the hunt, this for the NFC is the whole NFC East and Arizona. So yeah, I don't know.
So Arizona can take out the Rams.
Philly is out officially.
Oh, okay.
So the Giants and Dallas are 5-10. Dallas is 6-9.
Aren't they playing?
Yes. And Washington, I believe, Washington plays the Eagles. So, I imagine Washington's going to win that game, but if they don't, then I don't know who gets the tiebreaker between Giants and Washington, but it could come down, if Washington lose, it could come down to Giants versus Dallas.
Right.
So, which would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
I imagine the Eagles will completely quit in this.
Oh, yeah, they will. They don't want to play. So, I don't know. I guess let's just. San Francisco only at 6-9 is obviously a little surprising. They've dealt with injuries. Other than that, there's not a ton of surprises here, honestly. What I will say is a surprise, though, is Buffalo 12-3. I thought Buffalo was going to win their division. 12-3, though. Are they the most equipped team to take down the Chiefs in the AFC and NFC?
I think so now. If you would have asked me a month ago, I might have said no. Mm-hmm. But the Chiefs are winning close games.
They are. They almost lost to the Falcons.
Yeah.
So
they are not dominant.
No.
They're getting some. It's taking a lot of comebacks from Mahomes.
Yeah.
You can throw the Super Bowl into that as well. Last year,
and all of their playoff games, they came back.
So as we've seen in Seattle, that's fun and that's great, but it doesn't work out every week.
No.
So we'll see what happens there. Man, I don't know. Were we wrong about Josh Allen?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and completely walk back my Josh Allen take and apologize. I was completely wrong. We saw him play live in Boise when he was at Wyoming, and he looked like dog shit, couldn't throw a spiral, wasn't accurate. He has this cannon arm, but he was not throwing it that hard even. He was kind of lofting him a little, and, I forget who it was. There was a quarterback, I believe it was a quarterback, that said after 17, your accuracy is your accuracy.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Apparently not with Josh Allen.
That's crazy.
He's as far as that goes, he's an enigma. And I think we were both completely wrong.
What I've talked about accuracy for a long time. We have this number 10 up here on the wall, and I said when he was coming out of the UW, I'm like, I don't think he's gonna make it because he doesn't throw accurately.
Yeah.
And you have, that's the number one thing in the NFL is accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not arm strength. Arm strength is important, mostly so you can
make
throw the sideline out, deep out.
You can make it work.
Yeah, if you have an accurate quarterback, you can win a lot of games. Look at Manning winning a Super Bowl with nothing left in his arm.
No arm.
So, so anyway, with Josh Allen, and they showed this on the TV copy the other night. So he was around mid to upper 50% completion his first 2 years in the league. So it backed up what we said when we saw him live. Mm-hmm. This guy can't throw an accurate ball. Now, he still doesn't have a great deep ball. He still doesn't hit guys on the move extremely well. But I don't know. I know they've worked on it. I always hear this, though. Oh, we worked on his footwork. That's always the narrative.
The mechanics. It's always...
Yeah.
Oh, he had a
changed
hitch.
His arm slot.
He had a hitch in his motion, and we got that out of
Been
there.
hearing this shit for decades.
Yeah,
it's bullshit. It's always bullshit.
Yeah,
every time.
I've never seen it work.
Except for this one.
Except for this fucking time, and this is the take we really really hammered this take too.
Yeah.
This is one of the only takes that we've fully hammered. Prediction wise, at least.
It's like pitchers, he was tipping his pitches. He's gonna bullshit.
No, he gets rocked.
Good.
He gets rocked. He throws a fucking hanging curveball. That's what it is.
So it sure looks. I mean, they're blowing teams out. He's a threat as a passer and a runner. They've got a good dual threat at running back.
Yeah,
they have great wide receivers.
Yeah. Their defense is turning it around. Their defense is looking better the last few weeks.
Yeah. And this year, I mean, who has a great defense?
Honestly, yeah.
Like, who scares you?
Yeah, there's no defense.
The Rams are the ones that scare me.
There's no defense. I think it's Rams and Steelers, and the Dolphins maybe just because their defense is really weird. And I don't know, So,
but there's no LOB.
No.
70s Steelers.
Yeah, there's none of that.
Ravens.
There's none of that
from the early century. I mean, there's nothing like that out there.
No, or even the Broncos when they won with Peyton, like that. Even that, there's not even that. And, So I mean, I think the Bills. Who's the second best team in the league if it's not them? Packers?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure they're not the best team.
Yeah, honestly. Honestly.
I don't know. What have they shown? If you look at... So why do we think the Chiefs are the best? Because they won the Super Bowl last year.
And they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Yeah, that's why. We're basing most of that on last year.
True. It's a good point.
No, I still... Hey, if you give me Mahomes, I'm still taking Mahomes. I still think he's better than Josh Allen. So I would... Yeah, gun to my head, especially if it's in Kansas City, even though there's no crowd. Yeah, I'm still gonna take the Chiefs, but a lot of it again, I'm basing it more on last year and the track record than what I'm seeing this year. What I'm seeing this year is the Bills are dominant. Yeah,
no, I think they, especially as of recently, they have dominated far more than the Chiefs have.
Yeah,
so that's interesting. Yeah, all right. Actually, I do have one last NFL thing. Do you know? You have ever seen the stardom, sit 'em, trade 'em hypotheticals?
Yeah.
I think I found the easiest one of all time.
Yeah.
I think Fox Sports posted it. I think this is the easiest one of all time. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let me get this ready and bang. This is the easiest. This is the easiest one of all time. Well, obviously you're trading Terrell Owens. I mean, that's
we're trading him right now.
That's I'm pretty sure the first reply. No, okay. There was a reply I saw that was obviously you trade T.O. And he didn't even say anything else. It's obviously you trade T.O.
Yeah.
And then you start Jerry and bench Randy Moss, who would not agree with that.
He was the best receiver.
Yeah, Randy Moss would not agree with our little list. He said Jerry Rice is third or fourth, and he's number one. Yeah. I think if you strictly are watching tape, if you are strictly watching them play, you would pick Randy Moss before you picked Jerry Rice, just because of his size, his speed, the plays he makes.
Yeah, if you're going to make a huddle tape
from that,
high school player puts their best highlights, but don't show them getting blown up,
From that standpoint, he's the best receiver of all time because he can do things that no one else could.
Yeah, he's the most he's a freak, most talented receiver of all time.
Jerry blows him out of the water in every stat.
Yeah.
And he especially, and I think Jerry not being super athletic or super tall should even add to his status as the best of all time.
Yeah.
Because he did it without being built like Randy Moss.
Right.
I mean, if Randy Moss worked like Jerry Rice or had the route running of Jerry Rice, anything of Jerry Rice other than his size and speed, we would be saying Randy Moss is the best football player of all time,
right?
The best sports player of all time, but he's not. He's Jerry Rice is better. That's it.
I mean, Jerry Rice is like Babe Ruth to me.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what he did compared to his peers at the time.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Jerry Rice played at a time where you could basically rape the receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, you could bang them down all the way down. You could take their heads off.
Yeah.
I think, I hear this narrative all the time that he wasn't a great athlete, and I totally disagree with that. Now, he didn't have the 40 time. He's a
that's the thing.
4.5 guy.
I know his 40 time. I didn't like. I've seen
maybe 4.6.
I've seen some highlights, but I haven't watched Jerry Rice play.
But what he had, that's maybe one of the best of all time, was his ability to accelerate, stop, accelerate again.
Right.
That's how he got wide open all the time. He was great after, run after the catch.
Mm-hmm.
He ran very precise routes, which, there are a lot of people that do that. That's why Largent was great.
Yeah.
But Randy Moss, I don't know that anyone's ever had the combination of speed, size, leaping ability, and hands of him. But man, if it's 3rd and 5 and you need a guy to run,
a slant or something,
something that requires some precision.
Yeah.
That's not your guy.
No,
not at all.
Yeah.
He didn't have the complete, he had the driver, we've talked about golf club. He had the driver.
Yeah.
But he didn't, Jerry Rice had everything.
Every club.
Yeah. Every club. So to me, if you said Randy Moss was the best of all time, like I would have that discussion. It's pretty absurd.
It's not ridiculous.
I would have the discussion.
Yeah.
But if Randy Moss says I'm the best ever, it makes it even worse than just a joke.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not good.
What a horrible take.
Yeah. All right. I guess let's move to college football now. Oh, also Quentin Dunbar is out for the season. Who cares?
Yeah,
college football playoff. We got Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame. The spread for the Notre Dame game is 20, which is pretty funny. I think we talked about that. Have we talked about the college football playoff thing already?
I don't think so.
I don't know. It's interesting to me that Ohio State is above Notre Dame just because they hadn't played as many games.
Right.
I think I like how this is shaped up, though, because I think I want to see Clemson play Ohio State.
Yeah.
Because I think any team that plays Bama is going to lose by 10 points.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to happen. So I'm glad to see those two face off because I definitely think it's a top 3 and then the fourth team. It's been like that for years now.
Right.
It's been the top 3 and the 4th team to get in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Bama's going to win it all. I have no clue if they can cover 20. That's insane. I have no idea, but yeah. What do you got for the playoffs?
I think Notre Dame is a little bit of a fraud. They had the win over Clemson, which put them. That's the reason that they're in the playoff, even though they got blown out by Clemson in the ACC championship game.
Yep.
I'm not sure what was going on with Clemson in that game, and obviously their quarterback was out, but their backup, threw for 400 yards, so it wasn't a quarterback issue.
Yeah, I don't know,
but I think they had a couple defensive linemen out, and Notre Dame was able to run all over him, or a couple defensive players anyway. I'll talk more about this later, but I think that 20 points ain't enough. I think Notre Dame's gonna get embarrassed in that game. There's a discussion. Okay, there's a difference between, especially this year more than any other, between who's deserving to be in the playoffs versus who looks like they should be in the playoffs.
Who should be in the playoffs versus who should be in the playoffs versus who deserves it.
Yeah. So do you feel like Ohio State deserves to be in the playoff?
No, but they should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I think if you'd had another strong team, it becomes a...
I don't want Cincinnati playing Clemson. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just don't. Yeah, I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to be entertained as a football fan. Let's just get the best teams in there. I don't fucking...
What about BYU? Oh, wait, they lost.
Hey, maybe the Jets pick him? The quarterback?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, go there and be a bust. Sounds good. That's a marriage made in heaven right there.
Yeah.
I shouldn't talk about BYU and marriage. But anyway. Sorry. How many quarterbacks can they play at once?
Yeah.
What the hell was I talking
I
about?
don't know. Oh, who deserves to be in the playoff?
Okay, yeah, it's a tough one. Here's the thing that I think the Texas A&M coach, the guy that was at Florida State,
Jimbo.
Yeah,
Jimbo
Jimbo.
Fisher.
How can I forget that? Jimbo hinted at it because Jimbo's the guy that got left out of the party.
Yeah,
they were a one-loss SEC team. So there was a strong argument for them over Ohio State because I don't know how many games Texas A&M played, but I believe it was 11 or so.
Yeah.
You had Ohio State play 5, something like that.
I think it was 5 or 6 with the
maybe
championship.
It ended up being 6. The thing is, if you watch football every year, weird shit happens.
Yeah.
And the more games you play, the more chances there are for something weird to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State almost got beat by Indiana. They, Northwestern hung with them for a good chunk of the Big Ten championship game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit of an argument. Like, you won 6 games, but you showed you were vulnerable in 2 of those. How vulnerable are you if you play 5 more games?
Exactly. Yeah, it's tough.
So
it's tough.
That being said, I'm kind of with you. I don't want to see.
I mean, they beat Vanderbilt was the team that got beat 50-0. It didn't give the kicker Sarah Fuller a chance to kick.
Right.
They only beat them 17-12. The Aggies. It's like I can't have them.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't support it. They beat Arkansas by 11 points.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know.
I mean, I think, let's be honest, I think Ohio State would beat them by 3 touchdowns.
I would bet on Ohio State 100 out of 100 times against the Aggies.
So, but I don't like that the Pac-12 and the Big Ten only played 5-6 games.
Yeah, that's really it. That's really it.
Pisses me off.
That's really it. It's not it's not who the committee. It's not the committee's fault that they had this fucking crazy hard decision, impossible decision to make. Now, this is a question that you posed that fits really well right here. If you could go back and change things about how the Big Ten, Pac-12 handled it, what would you do?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's some people, on the West Coast right now that are saying why the Pac-12 shouldn't have even played. What a joke.
They did this half-step thing.
They should have played, they might as well have just played in the spring.
Yeah, I mean,
they could have played a full season in the spring. I'm hearing all these things, and first of all, I've said this before, the people who wanted to play in the spring, you weren't going to get a full season in the spring. You were going to get 8 games at the most.
Stupid. And what happens when they have to play in the fall after?
Yeah, I just don't like it. And then part of it is the Pac-12 is a joke now. I get it. Mm-hmm. But how big of a joke are they if they hadn't even played?
Yeah.
It's total embarrassment. You would have had players jumping off teams.
Oh, yeah.
Transfer portal would have been
100%.
Like, I realize it looks bad now. It would have been so bad if they hadn't played.
It would have been, the implications could have been USC and UW leaving the Pac-12 after. Genuinely, you know what I mean? It could have been some teams leaving the Pac-12 because they are like, what the fuck, we can't do this anymore.
Right. So it is good that they played. We've talked a lot about how they should have started earlier. They had, even after they got the testing, they should have started. The part that I don't totally understand is we had this great testing and they still missed more games. They missed games at a higher rate than any other conference. So that's the politics.
This is my huge issue with how they did things, and especially it impacted the Big Ten when Graham Mertz, that Wisconsin quarterback, went out. If you test negative, why the fuck can't you play?
Yeah.
If you test negative, you don't have it.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
What's the point of testing?
You had Davis Mills, Stanford quarterback, get a false positive. Mm-hmm. Wasn't able to play. Had to miss most of the practice week for the next game. So they lose the game that he didn't play in. They lose the game that he couldn't practice for. Mm-hmm. They look pretty damn good after, once they got all their shit together.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any other positive tests, and they didn't have a lot of COVID issues like some of the teams did. Like that, they might have won the damn North.
Yeah, genuinely, they might have.
If they had been fucked over by that test. So anyway, What a mess. What a disaster. The Pac-12 CEO group, as they're called, and
like
Larry
PEO because they're peepees.
That'll tell him. It's an embarrassment. I'm concerned this year more than any other. I'm concerned about the Pac-12 going forward. We're seeing recruits head east. We're seeing TV deals get signed that the Pac-12 they're not going to get that kind of deal. I don't know, man. I'm real worried about college football. It's a free for all. There's no direction from the NCAA. Either somebody needs to get everybody on the same. Even this year, well, who's going to play and who's not going to play? There's no, you know what I mean? There's no NCAA decision.
Yeah, it's so insane.
Oh, conferences figure out what you want to do. Go get your TV deals. It's just I don't know. I'm worried about the future of the sport. I'm very worried about the future of the Pac-12 in particular. It's not looking good.
Not great. Better college football news. Huskies got some surprise returns. ZTF, who we absolutely love.
Yeah.
I think another year of him here, I think he's going to become like a top 10 Husky, personal favorite of mine. Yeah. And Cade Otton, who I have a crush on. And then the two offensive linemen that decided to come back too. So that's great.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, no, it's not just great. It's amazing. Especially, considering we did just lose two quarterbacks and we had too many, and now we're kind of worried. Yeah. Now it's a little worried.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah, one of them's gross though, so it's okay. But
yeah, very gross.
Yeah.
So you get Cade Otton, to me, would have been a as far as tight ends go, would have been a pretty high pick in the NFL.
Yeah.
He has the full toolbox to be an NFL tight end. Mm-hmm. I was surprised he came back because he would have been up on that list.
I like the way he did it too. I'll see if I can find it. He was like, I am declaring that we're not finished yet, or something.
Yeah. And then.
Yeah, I'm declaring that the Dogs are coming for it all in 2021.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be a part of it. That's a great announcement.
Love it.
It's a great announcement. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
ZTF, I think we talked about this. We might only get a few games of this guy.
Yeah.
But he's coming back. That's a little bit of a surprise. Mm-hmm. The left tackle, Kirkland, I thought he was gone. There was talk about him leaving after last
I was going to say,
season.
Yeah.
But, his dad was a Husky. His dad played a little bit in the NFL. And I think, they had a discussion basically, I think his dad said, if I could go back and play one more season of college football, I would. Mm-hmm. You don't get to be a kid again.
Yeah.
And he also talked to a couple of recent UW offensive linemen that are like, yeah, the NFL is cool, but, most the practice is over and guys go home to their families.
Yeah.
That they don't kick it like we do, do in college. So I think he just wanted to enjoy that experience. And when you're not desperate for money,
yeah, true.
Like a lot of guys, I get it. You're trying to keep your mom from getting evicted or whatever.
Yeah.
You got shit to worry about.
Yeah.
Way bigger shit than college football. But a guy like him, he doesn't need to leave, and he feels like maybe he could raise his stock. It was his first year at left tackle. He actually resculpted his body. He slimmed down.
Yeah.
But maybe he wants to put on 20 pounds of good weight, and be a Sewell, be a upper half of the first round guy. And then you get your center back, which is always good.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll have their whole offensive line back.
Crazy.
Which is, that's a great start to a football team right there.
Yeah.
So
especially in college, that's so huge.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited. I'm very excited. And then they got the little running back.
Yep. McGrew. Yep.
Which that helps. And yeah, so they lose a couple of guys.
Is he thinking about declaring?
No, I think, when a guy's been in school, this will be his sixth year.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So there are some guys that are just like, I'm just done. I'm just done.
Yeah.
I've done. I am what I am.
Mm-hmm.
So you always wonder who's just going to have had enough of the game.
Yeah.
So, so it's really encouraging. I think this puts them as potentially the favorite in the North, or at least, a serious contender for the North. So good stuff.
Yeah. So you just just one last thing before we get into the segments. You said it just says Colorado screwed.
Oh, this is kind of old news.
Oh,
This would have been more for last week, but
they did get screwed yesterday, and they fucking screwed me too.
Yeah,
fuckers.
Yeah, I have more on that later too. But Larry being Larry.
Yeah.
My first thought was, so Larry desperately needed his, when UW couldn't play, Larry. They did this thing. Like, I knew UW wasn't going to fucking play in the conference championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't get all the COVID out in 5 days.
No,
Okay,
yeah.
It's not how it works with the contact tracing and all that. So there's this big announcement by the conference. Oh, USC versus UW at USC, and Colorado versus who the fuck? Oh, Oregon at also at USC. You're like, oh. Larry's just going to ship everybody there.
Yeah.
And somebody's fucking playing in the game. I don't know who.
Yep.
But somebody's playing because we're getting our bag from Fox.
Man, that's funny. And then they ended up not playing.
So UW almost immediate is like, yeah, we're not going. We have like 12 players that can play.
Yeah.
So they throw Oregon in there. So Oregon, they don't win their own division, but they win the conference. Which I don't have a huge. I'm not one that's gonna just laugh at that too much. But what sucked was Colorado is that is already all dressed up with no place to go.
Yeah.
So they didn't get to play. And some of that's their own fault. If they had beaten Utah, then maybe they would have had a chance to play.
Yeah.
Maybe some things would have been different. But they lost. And then my God, they just got
throttled by
embarrassed.
Mr. Ellinger over there in Texas. So Rose Bowl's not being played at the Rose Bowl this year, which is pretty interesting. Also, the New Mexico Bowl is in Texas, so that's cool. Man. College football, man. College football. Let's go.
It's funny that you always hear what people talk about at the Rose Bowl, and I can attest to this. Is there's nothing like seeing the sun start to go down over the San Gabriel Mountains at the Rose Bowl, and it's an image you don't forget if you've been there. And people are going to see it this year. A lot of that's because there's no fans. Not even the players' families were going to be allowed to go.
Yeah.
So I get why they're moving it, and to me this whole season is kind of a joke anyway.
It's no Mayo Bowl either. It's
no Mayo
It's not
Bowl.
quite the Mayo Bowl.
No, I want to. Yeah.
They should just give him like a legit, just like a plastic salad bowl full of mayo. That's what the trophy should be.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Maybe there are too many bowl games. I don't know.
I mean,
canceled half of them.
You got 2 and 8 teams playing in bowl games this year, so yeah, there are.
What a mess.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I guess that only leaves. It's playing right now. The Howard Schultz Clown of the Week. Woo! Yeah. All right. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? I do have mine. I didn't have mine when we started the show, but during the show, I figured one out. Yeah.
They emerge. Throughout our conversation sometimes. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Carl Durrell of the Colorado football head coach.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you can put it all on him, but they start the season 4-0, 5-0, or whatever, and people are like, wow, what a job. I believe he was named the conference coach of the year.
Okay, yeah.
But then you lose on your home field to Utah, and they just got completely humiliated by Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, all I heard about was, and I'm bitter because I lost. What are you looking at? You look very.
There's a bomb threat in Leavenworth.
Oh God.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. You look like the sky was falling.
Anyway, yeah.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. Bomb threat in Leavenworth. Shout out Leavenworth.
Christ.
Hope everything's gonna be okay.
I hope everything's okay there.
You really do have to be especially miserable to threaten to bomb Leavenworth.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's just that town is there to be happy. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
So anyway, and then you go to this bowl game, and I'm thinking Colorado has motivation to prove that they were something.
And
Texas is like, This is another disappointing
Like,
season.
who cares? Yeah.
Our coach is a joke. We're a joke. It's a bunch of, when you have a bunch of 5-star guys who expected to compete for championships and they don't get to the playoff, sometimes they're very disinterested.
Yeah.
So I thought this would have been a great win for the Pac-12, a great win for Carl Durrell, former UW offensive coordinator, by the way.
I did not know that.
Also a head coach at UCLA. He did okay at UCLA.
Okay.
Now, it looked bad at the time, but now it looks like a pretty amazing
Oh, true.
job.
Yeah.
Because it's UCLA.
UCLA's dog
But,
shit.
yeah, to just, basically a no-show. I mean, just, down 14-0 immediately, and you end up giving up 55 points.
I saw that, and I saw 14-0. I was like, oh, fuck, here
Yeah,
we go.
I know.
It's just going to happen like this.
Yeah, okay. Well, so much for that.
Yeah.
I to pull a no-show and to put, allow yards per play that make, who's our old UW defensive coordinator, Nick?
I don't.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
We're going to be
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck his name is, Nick something. I'm blanking on it. But to allow yardage that rivals him. And then I think their Texas quarterback was out for a good part of the second half.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't watch
They
it at
kept
all.
scoring, though.
Yeah.
So it's just an embarrassment for the Pac-12. We only have 2 teams in bowls.
Nick Holt?
Nick Holt.
Yes.
Yeah. So to go do a no-show, I know these bowl games aren't that important, but this felt important for the conference.
For sure, yeah.
Would have been great for Colorado, a big win for them. They get a lot of players out of Texas. Look at their roster.
Interesting, okay.
They recruit very heavily in Texas.
Interesting.
There aren't a lot of players in Colorado.
No.
Believe it or not. Except for
A lot
that
of hockey players.
We had a shitty quarterback for the Huskies out of Colorado.
Okay.
Who the fuck was that? He ended up working at Walmart.
Oh my God! Fuck! It wasn't Keith Price, was it? No,
the guy
Siler
after
Miles.
him. Siler Miles. He was out of
Miles.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So just I mean, come on, show up. What the fuck?
Yeah. No,
I
that's.
lost my. God damn it! We're gonna have to move out.
Yeah.
It's our last show.
Yeah. So my clown of the week. This is another player, another person rather, that could be considered a perennial clown of the week. Mm-hmm. Except he doesn't really play enough to. He kind of rides the pine too much to be perennial clown of the week, and that is Grayson Allen.
Oh God.
So Trey Young tweets, "Damn, tell me what y'all see. Shaking my head. This gotta stop. Hashtag if you don't know, now you know." So you can see Grayson Allen tries to trip Trey Young, and then Grayson Allen, being the fuckhead he is, tweets, "Damn, that must have really hurt. I'm sorry. Hope you're okay." Fuck you, Grayson Allen. You tried to trip him.
Yeah.
That hurts people, you dickhead. Fuck you.
Yeah, you're dealing with careers.
Yeah, and a career of a guy, he's in his third year, and he particularly is an incredible talent.
Yeah.
And it's like, what'd I say? I said, Grayson Allen is the biggest baby back bitch in sports history. That's what I tweeted.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing shit at Duke, right? Stepping on people when they're down.
He tripped. Yeah, I mean, he tripped. I think he did it 3 times at Duke, where he deliberately tripped someone and got kicked out for it. So that, you can't tell me you didn't try to trip him. And he didn't even say he didn't. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
And a very punchable face.
Oh yeah, I think most punchable face in the NBA.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, he rivals the Rams quarterback,
Jared Goff. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you compound his face with his actions, he is definitely the most punchable player in sports, I would say. Fight me, Grayson Allen.
Punchable faces always white guys.
Yes. Yeah. I think we just realized this right
always
now.
White guys.
It's always white guys that have punchable
but it's
faces.
true.
It is. Yeah.
It's true.
Fight me, Grayson Allen. I'll fight you. I will. I'll fight you. Yeah. All right.
Man.
So, yeah, that's my clown. I guess let's move on to the player and lock of the week. So, how about you go first? Either one. You just go ahead.
You know what? I'll just do both of mine at once and
Go
just
for it.
knock them out
Go
because they're
for it.
very connected. I already mentioned this, but I think Alabama. I mean, it's hard to believe that it just seems like this could be their best team ever.
Yeah.
Despite the teams that they've already had.
Crazy.
At least offensively.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're minus 20 I think they're going to win by 30.
Uh-huh.
I just don't see Notre Dame being competitive in this game. You know, I
I
think
don't either.
the talent gap is pretty wide.
I would not lock that, but that's...
I'm locking it.
Yeah.
If it was 21.5, I probably wouldn't, but it's under 21.
Yeah.
They're going to win the game by 3 touchdowns for sure. So that's
Fair
my
enough.
lock. You got Sark, you know, he's the assistant coach of the year in college football. You know, we've poked some fun at him over the years, but man, it's good to see. He resurrected UW football.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll
will
give him
always
credit for
I mean,
that.
he's still on my wall right now. Like
Yeah.
I'll always
Yeah.
have love for Sark.
And you know, we called him 7-win Sark. And,
Yeah.
But there was a time when 7 wins felt really goddamn good.
7 wins. I remember being so hyped to win the fucking Holiday Bowl or so hyped.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So anyway, he's sounds like he's turned. You know, he obviously had some demons with alcohol that he's. It seems like he's, you know, moved past that.
Good.
Hopefully forever, which is great. My guess is he's gonna get a good head coaching job somewhere. If not this year, next year, somewhere big. Maybe Auburn should have hired him. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting.
We'll see. I don't, you know, who knows how that'll pan out. But yeah, I think he's got all the pieces. He's a good offensive mind, and so Mac Jones is going to be the player of the week. So I'm just doubling down on Bama.
Doubling down on Bama. I like it.
Sweet home Alabama.
All right.
It's going to be a blowout. Mac Jones is going to go off.
All right. Cool. My lock is going to be the Bears -5.5 against, or no, sorry, the Packers -5.5 against the Bears.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And the Bears have a lot to play for.
Bears have a lot to play for. It's a divisional game. I still think the Packers are just flat out way better. So I think they beat them by a touchdown at least. Yeah. And then my player of the week, where'd it go? What game was it? It was, let's see. My player of the week is going to be Chase Young. My player of the week's going to be Chase Young. I think he's going to get 2 sacks against Carson Wentz at least. 2 sacks. Last time I predicted 2 sacks, it came to fruition.
Is Wentz playing again?
I don't know. Either way, he's getting 2 sacks.
Yeah.
He's getting 2 sacks.
Yeah.
He is so insane to just look at.
Yeah.
Like like, what the fuck who are you, dude? Like, dude, this guy is like, he's so massive. I thought he looked massive because he was playing in college. He still just looks massive.
And he runs like a, I don't know, maybe not quite a receiver, but if you watch him run, like he just looks so fluid.
You know when Russ shook that guy against the Redskins and got that first down?
Yeah.
Chase Young was chasing him down, like fully, and like gaining speed on him like DK was on Buddha, like fully gaining speed on Russ. And if Russ didn't run out of bounds, he would have caught him easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's crazy. But yeah, give me him as a player of the week. And yeah, with that, I guess, you know, you got any other specific things?
No. So the Seahawks, I guess we kind of mentioned this a little bit before. I said no, and then I'm going to keep talking. No, I don't have anything else except for I'm going to keep talking. You know, Pete Carroll has said the Seahawks are going for the win this week to see if they can get the number 1 seed. I'm sure they'll be scoreboard watching the Packers. So the scenario is they need the Packers to lose. And
the Saints, I think.
The Saints both to lose.
Yeah, I think the Saints have to lose too.
Yeah.
To the Panthers.
But hey, you know, weird things happen.
Yeah.
So you know, hopefully that'll go well. Again, the number 1 seed gives you the week off. The number 2 seed used to do that, but not this year because there's an extra playoff team. So So it's, you know, 1 seed or bust pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I don't think it's going to happen, obviously, but it'd be sick.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty sick. So, yeah, I mean, with that, you know, go Hawks, go Dogs, bring them back. Subscribe, like, comment. Follow us on Twitter at Mason Charles Coe, at AaronCode29. Check out the book, Amazon or Lulu.com. It's called High Points.
The paperback is out now.
Paperback's out.
But not on Amazon.
But not on Amazon.
We're still working on
so you can get a hardcover or a paperback if you want to, you know, save a little fucking money, you dumb fucker. Just buy the fucking hardcover, you bitch. All right, yeah. I mean, like I said, you know, give us some feedback. We'd love to hear criticisms or compliments, you know. just stuff we could do better, stuff you like, stuff you want to see more of. Maybe we can add more segments if you guys want to see that. But yeah, you got anything else?
That is it.
All right. Well, yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. You're crazy, but you made it. Don't know why you did, but you did. So thanks. You know what? Word of the day. Secret word of the day.
Oh, gosh.
If you hear
that for a while.
If you hear this word, text me that you heard this word. The word of the day is pillow.
Pillow. Okay.
So if you hear this word, DM me, Snapchat me, text me, comment on this video, pillow, if you heard this. I suspect 0 people will have heard this word because if they didn't already click off only like 5 minutes in, they've definitely clicked off since I started doing the outro.
Good chance.
So if you really made it this far, you're a real one. You're with it. When we make it huge, we'll remember you.
That's right.
So yeah, I guess with that, peace out.
See ya.